once again gets to kind of flex the talent gap that they have over the rest of the ACC tomorrow against Notre Dame. And I feel like we know Notre Dame surprisingly well for how they're playing right now, because they just played UNC a couple of days ago, and more recently than that, they played NC State.
3 straight games against the Triangle.
So we're like, they're like weirdly a team that I feel like I'm covering right now. Like I'm a Notre Dame beat writer and I'm watching all their football games because they're in the CFP playoff, and I watch playoff games. So I'm strangely aware of everything going on in the Notre Dame world. Notre Dame basketball, and I said this yesterday, thank goodness they have football, because their basketball team is not going to give them the same joy and endorphin rush that their football team is giving them. And that allows me to kind of just group them with the masses in the ACC. I'm not saying they're the best. I'm not saying they're the worst. I'm saying they're on a similar plateau with Syracuse and Georgia Tech and Miami. And like there's just this mash of teams where if you changed the jerseys, you had them play different squads, I'm not sure you'd notice. You'd notice style of play. I'm talking quality. This is probably made up. You know how people post on social media, like, my 3-year-old told me, and then it's just 100% something that a 3-year-old did not say to them, but they're doing it for engagement. I saw somebody posted that their daughter, who was probably 6 or 7 years old, was playing in a soccer league, and at the end of the year asked why the team they play against gets to change their jerseys every week, but they always wear the same ones. Didn't realize they were playing a different team every week. Thought they were playing the same team that was just showing up in a different color jersey every week. I think you could do that for some of these ACC schools. I think if you lined them up and played them, 4 or 5 nights in a row, a different team, you might be like, did we play a different team there? Was that the same team in a different uniform? They're just middle of the road. And when they're middle of the road, Duke is just going to be above them. There are a few teams, I would put UNC in there, probably NC State later in the season, not right now, where if you catch them on like a great day, that they'll be more threatening. But then there's 7 or 8 teams where a great day, they're not super threatening. A bad day, they're not super threatening. That's where I put Notre Dame. So Duke comes in. Actually, since I teased that I did look at the NBA draft big board, I should give you the insight. This is just another way to kind of show the talent gap between Duke and everyone else. In ESPN's latest mock draft, they did a full first and second round NBA mock draft. Cooper Flagg went number 1. Con Knipple went number 7. Common Maluach went number 11. Tyrese Proctor went in the second round, number 42 overall. And Sion James went number 50 in the second round. Sion James. The rest of the ACC, Drake Powell from UNC 15th. Ian Jackson from UNC 24th. Stanford's Maxime Reynaud 51st. That's it.
Bruh.
That's it. So Duke, when they're playing these games, right? When they're playing the games against the also-rans, it's win and. That's how I've been describing it. Or that's, I've been dancing around it. That's how I'm going to describe it for them this season. It's about deciding how to fill this blank. Duke, to have a successful day, needs to win and blank. Then you decide how you fill it in, right? Every game could be different. If you're playing against Stanford and Maxime Reynaud, then it would be win and something to do with stopping Maxime Reynaud, the 7'1" projected second-round pick for Stanford. If you're playing on the road at a place with a little bit of a raucous environment, it would be win and deal with the fans and not let it shake your focus. This weekend, against Notre Dame at home, I'm going with this. For Duke to have success, they need to win and get Common Maluach going offensively. Notre Dame has some size. I'm not going to say they don't. 6'9", 6'10". They got a couple guys in their rotation, but they're grinders. Maluach should be more offensively than he's been. His teammates allow him to just kind of fall into the role of, I'm going to set a screen, I'm going to roll, and if they don't have me in perfect defensive position, throw the thing up to the top of the square, and I'll catch it and dunk it, and I'll do that 3 or 4 times, and I'll finish the game with 6 or 8 points. 2 free throws, maybe 2 more. Like that, he could do that. But I can't help but think, what if Common Maluach wasn't on a team with Cooper Flagg and Con Knipple and Tyrese Proctor and all these guys that have their own skill sets? I think he could be a 15-point-per-game scorer. And I think having that potential is important. And realizing that potential is important. His skill allows him to do much more than catch lobs. And I think in these games where you're going to be ahead, right? Unless you wake up sleepwalking, unless you play horrendously, you're going to have a chance to do some things. Focus on unlocking that potential. Focus on unlocking more than just being a lob threat. You're 7'2", whatever, 7'3", and you have agility. That should unlock things offensively for you. So, and you're the 11th overall pick in the ESPN mock draft. The 11th overall pick should be able to occasionally, have a play run through him. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, and imagine what that could do for their ceiling if they have a post scorer. It's really one of the only things they're lacking.